Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on February the 7th, Tuesday, February the 7th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. What waiting looks like with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and differ from Walmal's. Now, traders, we've been talking, I've been putting out these videos for what, over a decade, I think now. And, we always talk about waiting for your signal, following your trading plan, etc. But I thought maybe we should do a video or two about what trading actually looks like, because what it isn't, it's not just sitting there doing nothing. You're actually doing something while you're waiting. So, Walmal, I'm going to pass it over to you so you can tell the traders what waiting looks like to you.
Well, I think, before I even get into that, I think an important distinction is what waiting looks like for me probably looks different from you, and it probably looks different from everybody that's out there. And the reason why is because we all have our different methods, our different strategies, and we approach looking at the markets differently. And because of that, it's going to affect what we're looking for as our, so-called trigger points to go and do things a little bit differently. So I think that's an important distinction to lay out there for everybody. So it's sort of like I can lay out what I actually do step by step by step, but it may not work. You say all the time in the videos, what works for you doesn't necessarily work for me. You got a nice way of saying it, very elegant way of saying it, but it's the truth of the matter is that we're all trading, we're different, and we're all trading slightly different from each other. And because of that, it's going to affect things differently. So I can tell you what I do. One of the things I do is I'm sitting down at the table. Hopefully, what I've done is I've gone and gotten enough rest. That's a precursor to everything. But that's not the waiting part. But hopefully, I'm in the right frame of mind. I'm ready to go trade. And the reason why I bring that up is because if I'm sitting there and I'm anxious or I just don't feel right, well, the first thing that I'm doing while I'm waiting is like get up and walk away. I'm not ready to trade. There's something else going on that I got to deal with and take care of first. And so that's the first step for waiting for me. Am I in the situation? Am I in the sitting in the seat and ready to go and do what I need to do? Because if I'm not ready to go and do what I need to do, the only thing I do is go and get myself into trouble, more than likely. Even if the trade goes my direction, I'll screw it up somehow. And I'm an expert on screwing things up. So I don't want to put myself in that position. That's the first thing. The second thing I do is I, remind myself of what my trading plan is. When do I go and take a trade? And if I'm going to take the trade, how do I take it? When do I going to take it? What, write down maybe on a piece of paper. I'm a very tactile type of person. Some people can just have a little note on their computer screen or an indicator that does everything for them. I'm very tactile. I like to go write it down so I see it, I hear it, I write it, and it becomes part of who I am. And maybe that's because I'm old school, I'm old, whatever, and that's just what I have to do because that's the way I engage my brain. Okay, that's fine.
Did you just take that trade out of the flip-flop box?
I did. I did. I took that and while you were actually setting up on the thing, and I picked up about 3 pips on 4 pips, something like that. But let me go and talk about that trade. I sat there, I waited, and I waited. And if you notice going to the left, there's, quote unquote opportunities. But why didn't I take those trades? And and part of the waiting is that it just didn't look right. And I'm going to be honest with everybody. Don't ask me what didn't look right because I'm not quite sure. Sometimes you just get that gut feel that, I got 3 magenta dots in a row and I've got a flip-flop on, and it just doesn't seem right. Now, the reality is I could have taken a trade and maybe picked up 2 pips, but I didn't take it because it just didn't seem right. Maybe because my eyes are glued to that 1 point, the $1.20 mark that I really feel like he wants to go back up there. So maybe I'm biased long right now for no other reason other than that. And so I just ignored the short opportunity.
No, I'm talking about the long opportunity.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I'm discounting the reason why I didn't take the short opportunity that happened at the beginning of the hour.
Mm-hmm.
But the long opportunity, so I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of biased to go long, so that's the first thing. What's my bias? Second thing is, do I get my setup? If I got a flip flop out, okay, gotta keep on waiting because just flip flops not enough for me. I gotta go and get, I gotta get my 3 aqua dots in a row. Okay, I got my 3rd aqua dot. Okay, I entered the trade, and of course, it immediately went against me about 3 pips. And it's like, oh, that's not very good. But then it turned around and it went up from, it went up and I was able to get out with like 3 pips or so, and which was great, because I'm only looking to make, 2 pips on the trade, and I got 3 pips, so that's not a bad deal. I can go and live with that, and that makes me happy, but the thing is, the waiting part. What do you do while you're waiting? Okay, I'm waiting for that 3rd dot. I'm waiting to make sure nothing else is going on, with the way price is moving. Because a lot of these things are just, they're flag offs for me. So I think if I see, yeah, I got the 3rd dot, but you know what? That price is moving erratically. The pound's not moving the way the pound likes to go move. You know what? I'm just not going to take that trade. That trade's off for me. And then, I know we talk a lot of times about, well, probably you can go and statistical mess up your statistics, and that's absolutely true. But maybe that's an experience thing. I've learned that, through time of seat time, that, when things just don't look right, just walk away from that. It's just not worth it's not worth it. and that's kind of, but this time, no, it looked good. It looked good to me, so I went and took it.
Yeah, I'm looking at right now. It looks like you could have had a short trade, but it would have been going against you here on the magentas.
Yeah, you would have had it would have opened up with the short trade, but again, my bias is not to go short, so therefore I'm not looking to go short, and so my bias, I have a bias. The only thing that would maybe make me want to go short is the fact that we've had a range here that's been sitting around what 1984 roughly. Yeah, we broke it a little bit, but came right back out of it. So, so there's a little bit of range that's ranging from that 1984 down to the recent range down to 1970, 1971. But you could even go down all the way down to 1960 something, But maybe that's a range trade. But I'm not trying to range trade right now. I'm trying to just use my flip flop boxes, and I'm biased the other direction. So I'm not taking those trades. It's sort of like, yeah, you can take a trade, maybe make some money on it, but I'm not looking to take that. And when you're not looking to take something, and this is not truly an airball trade, but I consider it to be an airball trade. If I got 2 different methods and I'm trading, and if I'm saying, you know what, I'm not looking for that, and then all of a sudden it pops up, and I take that trade, to me that's an airball trade because I haven't invested time and effort into making sure that that everything else that I would do on a checklist is there. And we talk about checklists, and on range trades, I want to make sure that the range is not too small or too big. I'm going to make sure that it's gone and run from each end, an equal number of times. I want to make sure that, hey, how did it range from one side to the other? Was it that thing where it was easily went up on the range and then on the other hand to get back down, it struggled? To me, that's not a good range to go and trade. So you got to go play all those different parts into it. All those, I have all those little things that my brain just goes and says and goes and does. And for traders out there, in the old days, and I probably should go back and do this. And I admitted this to you right before we went on this video, sir, and that is that, reality is I probably should write all those things down, and because in the old days, I would actually have every one of those things down, and I had a little sheet of paper in front of me, all the different things that I needed in order to go and enter a trade. And I had little boxes next to it, and I would literally cross off the box. I would literally tick the box, tick the box, tick the box, tick the box. Okay, I've got them all ticked. Okay, does it still look good on the chart? Okay, go do it. Okay, and that's what I would do. And back when I did that, my trading was um, noticeably better. Okay, I'm making. I'll be honest with the traders out there. I'm making more money now, but I'm making more money now because I've been able to trade at a higher level in terms of lot size. But back in the day, you know, I was my percentage of win was much higher. Like right now, for transparency reasons, my efficiency right now is on the trade report is 86%. But back then it was always about 92%. That's always what it was. Now it's closer to the 85, 86%. I've gotten lazy, and this I'm really talking to myself right now than in more than anything else. Is that am I gonna go and cause myself through this, you know, lackadaisical attitude, cause a problem because I'm not going and checking the boxes. I'm not going and doing all the steps I should be doing.
And why aren't you?
Because I'm like every other human and I'm lazy.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've got two faults. I procrastinate and I'm lazy. You know,
Yeah.
and and so you got to go and build that into you, and that's why those checklists for me were so important because I knew that about myself, and so I built those checklists out, and maybe I ought to go and try to find those checklists and post them someplace so people could see what I was doing back then. But like I said in the very beginning of this video, just because that's what I did, or what I did at the time and what I should be doing now, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you should be doing. Maybe that's a good starting point for you, and then make that and wrap that around your own methodology of trading.
Yeah. Well, I just noticed one thing on that trade. I was asking if you had gone short, but your bias was long, and when your bias was long, the multimeter from like H4 down to H or M1 was all green. So it's like, yeah, you probably don't want to go against that. And like right now, it just turned all green again.
Right. And
But
here we go.
and it ranged
So,
all the way down to the 50% fib retrace from the three ball to three ball. I
right.
noticed
I
too.
went, yeah, just so you know, everybody knows, I went long at 76.8, and I got out as soon as it hit 80. So I picked up another 3 pips. But now, here's the thing. Did I go and follow my methodology here? No, I didn't take the flip flop box, but the reason why I took that trade was one, because it was coming out of flip flop box, even though I didn't have any magenta dots yet. I rather aqua dots yet, but my bias was long, coming out of the box, and we're in the middle of this range. And I figured, well, it's going to, like I said earlier on the video, it's been ranging up to that 82 level. So there was a good shot. And if you look to the left, look at every time it's gone back up, it's always gone up very nicely. Coming down, it's struggled. But every time going up, it's gone up like in 2 or 3 candles every time. This time it went up in 1 candle. But, to me, that was a safe bet. So my checklist, it was met in the sense of what I do on a range trade because, the range is existing. It's no question about that. Range definitely exists. Secondly, I've got a bias in the direction that I'm going. Thirdly, what's happening is that when it's gone in that direction, not only do I have the bias, but it also goes up relatively smoothly. It doesn't when it comes down. It's not struggling to go down. What I mean by struggling, like you get a down candle, you get an up candle, you get another down candle, and maybe another down candle, but you didn't get an up candle, and then you finally get that down candle that brings you to the other end of the range, as opposed to if you look to the left, every time it's gone up, it's been like, bull, and it's sort of like, well, that's kind of indicative to me that, hey, for whatever reason, it's not struggling to come up, but for whatever reason, it's struggling to go down now.
Yeah, and you know what?
Already,
The
go
fastest
ahead, go ahead.
15 minutes in trading is over, but we'll definitely make a few more videos on this topic. So, fellow traders, while you're waiting, Always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.